All right, what we came into today. Wow, this is insane.
YouTube, y'all see what going on? Yeah, you see what's going on. It's been a long time coming. It's been a long time coming. But today we have story time part 3. Yeah, let's see what's going on. Yo, people bit. Y'all read the title. Y'all understand what's going on. This was me. You mean? About two years ago. Damn man, 3 years ago now. You feel me? Yeah, about two years ago. Approximately 90 to 120 days after my last day in. You feel me? This is me. Back to humble beginnings. You feel me? It wasn't this book bag in particular. I had my little sister book bag. You feel me? From back in the day. Carrying it just like this. No will or nothing. I'm back out here. I gotta figure out what's going on. I'm walking right to the sub. Call buddy like, yo buddy, what we doing? You feel me? I'm looking up for blood. I'm looking up for blood before we go to work. We walking to the sub, man. It was real. It was tense. It was very tense and crucial times for me. You feel me? Mind you, like I told y'all before I had caught that last case, I went about 7 years, 6, 7 years without catching no cases. You feel me? Like I ain't gonna say I kept my nose the cleanest, but for the most part, I held me a job. I delved into the warehouse field. You feel me? So by this point, when I'm coming home from the last day in, I got the experience, but I ain't worked within about like a year at this point. You feel me? Damn near 6, 7, 8 months. You feel me? You feel me? So when I first come home, I tell my BM like, yo, give me 60, 90 days. Let me get my mind right. And after that, little Z, you don't gotta worry about nothing. Like anything financial, being as though I can't be like we can't be in a family and be together when it comes to anything financial and as best as I can do emotionally for my daughter, it's all me. As far as financial, I told her after 90 days when I come home, I get a job, you don't gotta worry about nothing financial. Send a text, send a call, or tell Zori to send a text, send a call. Straight like that. And before we go ahead and just delve into the story time and everything like that, I want to make a quick disclaimer. This is for educational and safety purposes only. I will not be naming a company. I will not be getting into full details about the full situation, how everything transpired, but I'm doing this to shed light on the workforce and what be going on in the workforce and what us young black brothers like me, guys who got a history of criminal history, got to be mindful of when you're going into these companies and you working for these people, because just because you may come off as some, or your criminal history may come off as some, you can't let that define you. These companies will try to define you by that, and they will try to like control your livelihood and basically puppet master you based off of that. That's how I ended up in this situation. But I'm the type of dude, when I get into a company anyway, I'm looking forward to doing the things that nobody else want to do so I can get the highest pay. You feel me? I said to say this, like when I started this company, I wasn't working in no freezer. I was just working in a dry area, you know, picking cans and things like that. But things transpired very quickly within the first 60 days of me being in that company, to where as though one of the freezer guys, he quit. He quit and he found another job. I should have took that as a sign right there. But as soon as he quit, I'm like one of the newest guys there. The manager come to me first, like, yo, we need you to go in that freezer. And me in the back of my mind, I'm like, man, I don't got no problem with it. But at the same time, I'm knowing like, all right, it's all these other guys here. They know the company, they know the product and all that. Why you ain't go to none of these dudes first to go in this freezer? You feel me? And it's like, once I got into the freezer and I seen the conditions, I realized what it was. Like a lot of these guys didn't want to go in there because they didn't want to go work under them conditions. Me, for the most part, at that point, I feel like I didn't have no choice. I'm coming in there on house arrest. fresh case, and these people was giving me an opportunity, and they telling me now at this point, like, yo, you basically got to take this joint, or like, you feel me, like, we gonna have to, you feel me, move you around. Basically, they basically put the pressure on me, like, yo, bro, we need you for this. You got the experience. We'll give you some extra money. Yada yada yada. I'm all right, bet. Sign me up. I don't want to do the things that nobody else want to do anyway. My guys was telling me before I went there, like, yo, bro, you don't want to go in there, bro. Like, summertime, you gonna see. You don't want to go in there. Me, I'm like, bro, I'm not hearing none of that. You talking about extra $2.50 on my paycheck? Let me get that. Let me get that. Wham! All right. I started there about August 23. My last day in was like May 18th. I started there August 2023. By October, I'm in a freezer, right? And before I even go in a freezer, before I even fill out any application, first of all, when I come home, I'm already heavily experienced in a warehouse. And not only that, I'm now learning the legalities of what a company could do and what they can't do. You feel me? Especially when there's safety issues involved. And I learned a part of this from the nut-ass old head Charleston White when he sat down with C Cheese and he gave an interview about how every time he go to get a job in the hood, anybody in the hood that know him, anytime he go get a job, whether it's a phone store or warehouse, whatever, he's going in there to pursue a case. You feel me? He's going in there to get a safety hazard case, a sexual harassment case, or something like that. Me, that wasn't my angle in particular, but being as though where I was at in my circumstances, as soon as I got in the freezer and I seen the conditions, my phone come right out. I'm recording everything. Like, you feel me? I'm reporting it to the manager, and I'm recording everything. That way, if something happened, I had proof. Like, yo, the conditions was already like this before anything happened, months before anything happened. Because although I know that the conditions is dangerous, I just can't up and just go quit and leave my job and go find another job. Like I just said, I'm fresh home off a new case, on house arrest. I went on like 20 interviews before I got this job. Like, nobody would hire me. You feel me? These people hired me, so it was like, damn, I'm not just going, I just can't find another job and just leave. Like, I tried to, but it wasn't that simple for a felon like me. So wham! All right. Start there in August. In the freezer by October. By December, I'm so locked in, so focused up, not playing with my shot. You feel me? I'm not missing no days. I'm not calling out. No nonsense. You feel me? At least until I get my vacation days and all that. I'm not playing nothing. And this company, they have like an award ceremony every year, whereas they give the best selector of the warehouse an award, the MVP of the warehouse an award and some money, the rookie of the year get an award and all that, little trophy and all that. So I say that to say this: by December of that year, I'm gonna block out the company and all that, but by December of that year, y'all see that I'm rookie of the year of the ops. You feel me? The ops is basically operations. The operations, I'm rookie of the year. Cause I'm clean as shit. I'm only there for like 90 to 120 days, and they like, nah, bro, you that. You feel me? Give me a nice little drawing, present a little drawing for me, give me the award.
He's always on time. He
Absolutely.
never calls out. He rarely has any mistakes or missing items. This person is such a team player.
Yeah.
When we finish selecting
Yeah.
in the freezer,
Yeah.
and help select the job.
Oh, ain't no trip.
Bernie?
Yeah, Bird. Let's go, brother. Let's go.
So I get my little punk ass award and all that. They don't even give me no cheese with it. They give me like some company bucks to spend. Like 50 company bucks to spend. You feel me? They give me that. Everything's smooth selling. I don't miss no days. I never call out. Everything's square and in order. That way, once these people try to play with me and I have to revert back to these documented, you feel me, safety hazards, you feel me? I'm gonna be straight. You feel me? I never missed a day. I never called out. If I called out, I probably called out once. Never late, none. I don't play. Heavily mature and heavily like headstrong when it comes to being on time and being, you feel me, like punctual about that. I'm very punctual about being on time, not calling out at this big age. I'm 33. You feel me? I'm flourishing, prospering to the highest level. I'm at the top of the company already. I'm only there for like 4 or 5 months. I'm a top employee. For a couple weeks after I had got hired, the manager who hired me had gotten into a situation with the supervisor to where though he wound up resigning. Top of 24, they had hired a whole new management system who was basically, to be honest, if I had to be like my conspiracy theorist mindset, I feel like he was just trying to get all the people who was there long enough to already get comfortable and establish their own type of work life within the company. He was trying to get them out of there just to refreshen the whole company under his regimen with all the nonsense he had going on. Because a lot of the nonsense he had going on, we was not going for it. It was so bad to the point where though my work bestie had they banged him like a couple months before this situation happened with me in this company. You feel me? That's how bad it was going. The new manager, they was on turkey time. So now we got the management being ultra petty. They fired my homie because he clocks out, and as he's on his way out the door, 10 feet away from the door, he pulls out his cell phone before walking out and get on his phone. They fire him because of that. But he also had an extensive history of calling out and being late, which is why this is an educational purpose type of video. This is why I say be mindful when you a brother of color and you going into these places to work. They're gonna use these type of things against you. That way, when it comes time to fire you over something petty like they fired him for, it's justified. You feel me? When it all boils down to it, they know that wasn't a justified way to get him out the door. But they knew 9 times out of 10 with his type of history and his conscience, he's not gonna try to fight that. He's already fed up. And to be honest, they probably already heard him saying like, yeah, bro, I'm already looking here, because he was already getting his affairs in order to leave the company anyway. They just figured this though, like, all right, we're gonna get you out here before you can go, type shit. So wham! After they bang, bro, you feel me? Things around the company start getting real spooky. I'm talking about they banging niggas for nonsense. They writing niggas up for leaving, like, cause they set up to where as though everybody gotta clean her out before they leave now with this new management system. That was the main way that they set up they write-ups, they lineups for all they write-ups. You didn't clean your out this night, you didn't clean it out this night, it's suspended. You didn't clean it this time, you're terminated. You feel me? That's how they carrying it. So me, I'm doing everything I'm supposed to. You feel me? Smooth selling. I'm smooth selling, but at the same time, when we have like team meetings and things like that and the management try to address things or it's time for us to address things, I'm one of the main vocal dudes. And me and my homie who I told you had got fired, we was the main vocal dudes. It was to the point where the new manager had said he was even threatened. He felt threatened by my homie. You feel me? So that was another like pillar of them getting him out of there. You feel me? But I was one of the dudes, like, I do everything I'm supposed to, but I'm gonna be very vocal of the stuff that I feel like I'm not supposed to be doing, or it's just unfair as far as like, oh, you can't have a headphone in because it's a safety hazard. Bro, I had a safety hazard in this freezer for 15 years plus. Y'all never took care of it. I don't want to hear nothing about no safety. I'm going in this freezer every day under these circumstances. Y'all want to tell me about safety? Safety is bugging out. Not only am I vocal about the things that me and all my coworkers as a whole not going for, I'm also pressing the issue about this freezer situation because according to the guys that have been there for 15 years plus, this has been a hazard for 15 years plus. And it's always a spring through summertime hazard because during the cold, the infrastructure that holds all the water up there is frozen. So you don't gotta worry about everything leaking. But when the summertime come around, that's when you see the real. Like all the footage that I posted in the beginning and y'all gonna see me post is coming from the summertime and things like that. So I didn't even really know what it was like until it got hot. Once it got hot, the ceilings start falling apart. Now, like the days when it's real hot, it's like real bad. Like we come in, second shift, like we damn near have to work around ice piles of water, like frozen piles of water. That's basically piles of ice at this point. Like look at this shit.
Wow. What we came into today. Wow.
Couldn't believe I lasted this long in this type of situation, man. It was very like
This is insane.
we had to be very headstrong for this. Man, so it's getting hotter, and the hotter it get, the worse the ceilings start to collapse. They said the company tried to get this thing fixed multiple times over the years, and it always gets back to its current state to where as though it's damn near collapsing. So it's basically a real infrastructure problem to where as though they might have to just tear down their whole building and rebuild it, or just build a whole new freezer. And at that point, they wasn't really doing that. They wasn't focusing on it. And apparently the higher ups didn't know about the current state, which is why it was like that. It stayed in that state that it was for years. And me being a guy with the extensive experience and background in the warehouses that I got, I know like most of these companies don't be having it. They don't be having the cheese to pay people. Like that's why when it come time for raise, they rather fire you. Nigga, get out of here before we give you this extra $2. Nigga, you tripping. I'm realizing like, all right, ever since I've been at this job, I only had about a couple, like 3-4 overtime pay periods. Besides that, we only get about 70 to 75 hours per pay period. Like they basically we're overworking us 2-3 days out of the week, and then the rest of the week they rushing us out the building. They giving us light workloads. You feel me? So to me, it's like, bro, y'all don't got the money to fix this freezer. That's why for the past 15 years, y'all just been leaving it like this. And when y'all do fix it, y'all don't spend enough money or enough time on it, which is why it ends up back to the state that it is. So it's like they don't got it. They don't got it to shut down operation a handful of years to either break down this building and rebuild a freezer, or just rebuild another freezer, you feel me, on the side or whatever the case may be. They just didn't have it. They barely had enough money to pay all of us. So it was like, bro, you think they about to shut down operations and then fix this freezer problem when they've been getting money and getting through with this shit for the past 15, 20 years? They ain't gonna be satisfied till somebody die in there for real. That's basically what it is. They ain't gonna be satisfied till somebody really get hurt in there and really sue them, or somebody dies. And doing my research, as I'm looking at, you feel me, like wrongful terminations and things like that, they say in those type of situations, if you are an employee in that working under those circumstances and you don't report this to your manager and get it fixed, and you don't report it to OSHA, if something happens, if the ceiling collapses on your coworker next to you and he dies, they can use you as a scapegoat. Like, yo, Raleigh knew about this. He never told us about this. So this is not our problem. We can't be responsible for what happened to, you feel me, his coworker, because he knew and he never told us about this. Like, this company was so down bad, they threw a summer bash, and every year before they paid every employee for the summer bash, right? The summer bash is basically day where they hold a bunch of games and raffles in the parking lot. And then on this year of the summer bash, they decided to take us to a Phillies game for the summer bash. So we had a summer bash at the job, then we went to the Phillies game, and we were supposed to be getting paid for that whole day, right? Fast forward, the next week or the week of the pay period that we for that day, they tells us they can't pay the second shift because they did not make enough profits from the week before to be able to pay us for not working a full day. You feel me? So at first they tried to tell us it was just going to be the second shift and the drivers, but come to find out the drivers got their pay, but the second shift was the only one that they didn't have the budget for to pay us. So now as I'm coming to my realizations and I'm realizing what I'm supposed to be realizing as far as like, this is not long term. These punk ass managers who are really imbeciles and not as smart as they think they are, who just got a position just because of the amount of years that they have doing this. They're trying to run a propaganda and run a game plan to get all the guys who's been there for a while out of there, which eventually they did up until this point. There's probably only one person that was there when I started that's still there. I see that they pressing a little issue to press the petty shit, so now I'm being petty. Right? And on this particular day, I'm in the freezer. I'm working in the freezer, of course. I get stuck in the back in a big ass pile of ice that's frozen on the floor. right? So I'm stuck back there for like 5 minutes. When I finally get my machine out and I get out the freezer, I go in the office and I tell the manager like, yo, bro, I'm bidding with him, but at the same time, I'm seriously bidding with him because he don't like me and I don't like him. But I'm on the tip of his ears, like, yo, bro, you gotta go in there and figure that out, man. I almost checked in there. I got stuck in there for like 5 minutes. You gotta get somebody in there, go break the ice up, man. I can't work in there. You feel me? Like, it's dangerous. So now he take it upon himself to pull the accident card. You feel me? He tried to hit me with the, oh, so you got into an accident? I'm gonna need you to fill out this form. He hit me with the joint to fill out a form. I fill out the form on some BS, like, bro, I just got stuck in ice. I told him I got stuck in ice. Nothing is damaged. I'm not hurt. Nothing is, you feel me? He reads the form. He like, oh, so you telling me you didn't get into an accident now? I'm like, bro, I never told you I got into an accident. I told you I got stuck in the ice. Get somebody in there and break the ice up. You feel me? So now he takes his petty to the max. So at the end of the night, when he doing all his rounds with us, he decides to point out this section that was frozen, number one, with wood in it, food, and all types of other debris. And he basically told me, you will have to break the ice up around this location and clean it out, or else you will be written up if you leave without doing that. So I go in there, I show him like, bro, this is frozen. I'm not breaking this up. You can just go in and just write it up. I leave knowing, number one, I don't have no write-ups. I got a clean slate. So if you're going to write me up, this is going to be my first write-up. I'm cool with that. Then number two, I leave because, like I said before, I'm knowing the legalities of what you could do and what you're not supposed to do. It was never in my job description to be coming in here to break up ice around wood and trash without no goggles being provided, without the proper equipment being provided to break this ice up. So I'm like, bro, this OSHA written all over it. So I'm like, he said he gonna write me up. I straight go home. I do my research on how to contact OSHA. I hit OSHA. Yeah, I got a situation. Like, I work for a company who've been neglecting the freezer situation for over 15 years. And today I was basically put in position to enable this safety hazard and basically cover up the safety hazard. I was basically told if I don't basically participate in this cover up of this safety hazard, then I will be written up and eventually fired. I already knew that this is what it was going to lead to. So I'm like, I'm not breaking up that ice under no circumstances. So I call OSHA off rip and I tell them what's going on. OSHA like, yeah, you got pictures? Send us the pictures and then we'll get back to you. I sent them the pictures and the videos. They got back to me ASAP. Like, listen, bro, we got enough to go in there. Now, it's up to you whether you want to stay anonymous or not. But we recommend that you just go ahead and tell HR that you contacted us and then, you feel me, that somebody might be coming down. Right? It's a brief description of everything that's wrong in the warehouse as far as safety. Like, give us a broad description of everything that's wrong. That was my OSHA stamp right there. Boom. Now, I done already went through all the levels. I told the manager about it. They never done nothing about it. I told the supervisor about it. He never done nothing about it. Now, I'm telling OSHA. Now, the next step after you tell OSHA, you might as well just reach out to HR and tell them, like, yo, listen, I hit OSHA up because this situation was a safety hazard. I told manager, I told supervisor, they ain't do nothing about it. And I don't know what to do now. I don't want to lose my job and I don't want to, you feel me? So I contacted OSHA so they can mediate the situation. So now about 2 days later, I come into work. They pull me into the office. Me and this janky ass supervisor, this turkey that got my manager put out of there when I first got there, and the new manager. We in the conference room. And he basically like, yeah, bro, I told you to clean this up the other day. You ain't clean it up. So today, you gotta clean it up. And if you don't clean it up, you're terminated. Out of here. I'm like, huh? I'm like, oh yeah? Y'all about to bang me? Off of one write-up? Over a safety hazard? I go right to the bathroom. I go to the bathroom, call the union rep, the head of the union, bro. I'm like, yo, bro, this nigga just wrote me up for not breaking up some ice with some crazy shit in it. And now he's asking me to go in there and go break it up anyway. And if I don't do it, I'm terminated. Union boy, because forever when it all boils down to it, the union be working with these companies. So he basically telling me like, damn, man, just go ahead and go knock that joint out, man. And next time, man, I'ma holler at him, make sure he don't like da. I'm like, no, bro, this ain't that. I'm not doing that. He didn't provide no PPE equipment. It's wood in this ice. It's food in this ice. I'm not doing that. So me, what I do, I go record this video.
I am being forced to clean this up. And as you can see, I cannot move none of this. So I am being forced to duck under these racks right here and break up this ice and pick up all of this trash, or else I will lose my job today.
Right.
After today, I will lose my job unless I break up all this ice and scoop up all of this wood.
I knew I was. Terminate who? And I'm like, terminate who? Because I'm already knowing, like, my affairs is in order. I only got one write-up. I'm never called out. I'm never late. Who you gonna terminate? Not y'all need, son. Fuck. They ain't gonna go that simple. This gonna be a real legal battle. Terminate who? I'm looking at like, bro, the nigga who trying to fire me, he's 50. Like, he's working a dead-end job for real. You 50, you working a job like that, you don't own no cribs, you don't own no car, he paying a lease, he paying a note for his car, don't own no crib or nothing, he renting where he live. And I'm looking like, bro, you doing a job that if I really wanted to, I could apply for that job and take it from you. I just don't want to be a nigga to manage a bunch of dickheads like this in a workplace like this. I don't want to be a manager. The only reason why you above me is because niggas don't want your position, bro. So I refuse to do the assignment again. He straight tell me straight up, like, you're terminated. Pack your stuff, get out of here. I'm like, back, cop. You feel me? I already got my affairs and I already hit OSHA up. And now on my way home on this train, I'm writing my letter in the email to the head of HR. Like, listen, this is such and such. Today I was terminated and I feel like it was completely wrongful. I explained to her the freezer situation. I was been messed up. And then now your manager tried to get me to clean up a location, which come to find out from the guys that been there for 15 years plus said that location been like that for like 5-6 years. So it's like, you go get that petty with me to the point where you go point that out, and then when I refuse because you don't give me the proper shit to take care of it, you try to terminate me. I email HR, let her know, like, listen, this is what's going on. Talk to me nice. So by the time I'm getting home, I done already sent the email off to HR, the head of HR, and let her know like what's going on, the levels, everything been on all the way up until this point to my termination. I let her know everything. And at the same time, one of my coworkers who've been there for like 15 plus years that been knowing about the situation, and he knew of that location because that location been like that for like 6+ years by this point. He tells me like, yo bro, like I'ma holler at the head of HR for you because that was wrong. Like, that spot been like that for 6 years plus. Like, I'm gonna get her to come down here to look at it tomorrow, and then hopefully I can get her to holler at you to get you back, bro, because that was wrong. I'm alright back. Está bien. Fast forward, the next day, head of HR hit me up. Hey, Raleigh.
I see here that you sent me an email. You said that you was terminated, but I don't see no records of you being terminated. Usually when somebody's terminated, their paperwork is across my desk the next day. So if you want to come down and talk to me, I will pay you for your commute here and back, and I will pay you for the sit down because I don't understand what's going on. It must be a miscommunication. Like, could you please come down and talk to me?
I'm like, right, of course it's a miscommunication. You see OSHA's involved. You don't know nothing about lawyers. I didn't say nothing about lawyers and things like that, but I tell them like, yeah, OSHA's, I'm getting OSHA involved in this. It's bigger than me. It's bigger than HR. It's bigger than you. So wham, I get down there, and off rip, it just feel eerie, spooky, and janky, just like these supervisors and these managers. Like, the questions she's asking me is like she thinks she's talking to a 12-year-old. You feel me? It's like she had a wire in the room or something, and she like trying to record the conversation, and she trying to trick me out my body.
Oh, so yeah, I see that you wrote here that you called OSHA. So how do you go about calling OSHA? Raleigh?
So I get there, I'm looking at the imaginary camera, you feel me? I get the look to the right, you feel me? Before little G was tagged right there on you feel me? Like, stop playing with me, tip. Like, you feel me? Like, you head of HR. You never contacted OSHA? You don't know nothing about contacting OSHA?
Yeah, I'm HR, so I've never had to contact OSHA. I've never been inside the warehouse and had to live by those standards in the workplace. So, yeah, I don't know. How do you go about it? I'm like,
there's plenty of ways you can go about it. You can call them, you can email them, or whatever. You feel me? If you really want to know, you can go Google it.